Hi and welcome to this week's Friday 5 in 5. This week I'm talking about my street photography philosophy, which is easy for me to say. Welcome to this week's Friday 5 in 5. Hope you guys have had a good week. This week I'm talking about street photography. I've had a few people ask me some questions about street photography and my process and my techniques, so I thought that I'd do it this way. I don't want this to come across as any kind of practical tips or 5 ways to make you a better photographer, because I don't believe in those vlogs necessarily. I think they're very much manufactured to get views. So this is more just me talking to you about my philosophy on street photography and the photos, really. So yeah, that's basically what this week is about. Just want to say, what have I been up to this week? Went out on Sunday, had a really good time down at Home Fen with Jamie Overland. That was the conditions were just brilliant. Did some woodland photography, and wow, the conditions were just amazing, and probably definitely some of my best woodland images ever. Not that it was hard to surpass the original woodland images, but yeah, they've turned out, I think, really well, but the conditions were absolutely perfect for it. This week's recommendation is a YouTube channel. It's called The Life and Times of a Multiple Media Manager. I just really enjoy listening to him, the guy talk. It's photography related, and he talks around a lot of interesting photography subjects. I haven't seen him out much actually taking images, but the ones that I've watched, I kind of agree with most of the things he says, and it's quite thought-provoking, and it's just interesting. So I recommend, if you're interested in just getting in some opinion and some information and some thoughts on photography and where we're going with it, and society and all of these things, then this guy is he's a very good watch, he's a very good listen. So yeah, The Life and Times of a Multiple Media Manager. I'll put the link in the description for you. Anyway, let's get on with what we're here for, which is my 5 thoughts about street photography. We'll get the clock up here and let's get started. Number 1, the first thing I think about when I'm taking images, street images, is that they've got to be different. I think a lot of people just assume that street photography is popping out to your local street, taking pictures of people and then turning them black and white, and that's street. And in some respects maybe it could be considered, but when I'm taking a street photography image, I want it to be different. I want not something that you would just see every day, not something you just walk on the street, you walk past 2 people and then I take a photo of that. There's got to be something to that image. There's got to be something different in that image, or something that shouts out that it's different in that image to make it worthwhile taking. I don't want to just take pictures of random people doing everyday things in an everyday way. Number 2, I have to have at least one of these 3 things, at least one, in my image, and that's either light, composition, or a story. So whenever I take an image, it's got to have one of those 3. So sometimes I'll be wandering along when I'm doing street photography and I will spot some light. So I will say, wow, look at how the light's falling on that person, or look at how the light is falling on the background, or look at how there's a massive contrast between the dark and the light areas, and for me that's a place to wait out and take some images. Or it's got to have some sort of compositional element. So I will say, well, look at how these lines are leading you into the image here, or look at these repeating shapes, or look at this tunnel, or look at all of these compositional elements that are coming together here, and then I'll wait for the human element to come into it and take the photo again. Or thirdly, and these are much rarer for me, I will see something that's telling a story. I'll see something that's instantly there. And then it doesn't matter about the light and it doesn't matter about the competition as much. It still matters to a point, but it doesn't matter as much because you're then telling a story and the story overtakes the rest of it. So you're more in the image, you're more invested in the image because of what's going on, and rather than the aesthetics of the image. Number 3 is I try to be patient as I can. So street photography is very similar to landscape photography in the fact that you're waiting for the right moment. You're waiting, in landscape photography, you're waiting for that right light. You're waiting for something to come into a scene that is going to give you that shot that you want. And street photography can be absolutely no different to that. For me, it's really important that when I go out taking images on the street, I don't want to come away with nothing. And if I see something that looks right, if I see a competition that looks right, or some really spectacular light that looks right, I want to make the most of that. So I will wait until the right people or the right elements are in that shot and then take it. So patience is as important for me in street photography as it is in landscape photography, and it's very important. Number 4 is being bold with my processing. I don't want to go out and take a record shot. I'm trying to create a piece of art when I'm doing street photography. So I want to be able to use my creative license to get the image exactly how I want it. And that, if that means crushing the blacks, pushing the highlights, graining it up, grunging it up, they're perfectly acceptable. I want to be bold when I'm processing. I want my images to be bold. I don't want them to be flat and lackluster. I want them to say something. I want them to stand out. So if there are elements in that shot that I don't like, I'll take them out. You know, I've got no worry at all about cloning large areas of photos when I'm doing street photography to get the look I want, because we're not capturing it as a record, we're capturing it as a piece of art. And it doesn't matter to me if you're manipulating that photo in post-processing to enhance the art of it, enhance the look of it. It doesn't matter if you're taking things out. Don't very rarely add things in, but if you're taking things out, you're pushing it to its limits in terms of what you're doing with the image. I don't think there's a problem with that. And number 5, the image has got to be for you. It's got to be for me. You know, I think that often in the past I've fallen into a trap of trying to take shots that I think other people would like. My images improved when I stopped taking them for other people and started taking them for myself. When I started getting the feeling for what I wanted, and then when I take that shot I put a lot of feeling into it, and that shows through, I think, in your shot, not only in the taking of the image but also in the processing of the image. Take the shots that you like. I hope that other people get pleasure out of my work, but I'm not doing it for other people to get pleasure out of it if I'm not getting anything out of it. It's got to be for you. It's got to be, you've got to do it for yourself. So take the images that you like and process them in the way that you like. So I hope you enjoyed that 5 in 5 there. I hope you got something out of it. Look, it's definitely not a 5 tips to make you a better photographer vlog. I don't like those. I don't want to do those. But it's just, I just thought because some people had asked me, I would share my philosophy on street photography and what I do to, I don't know, to make myself happy with my street shots. And there it is. So I'm not really sure what else to say. I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Don't forget to check out The Life and Times of a Multiple Media Manager. It is a good listen. It is a good listen. You might not agree with what the guy says, you know, but it's good to hear all points of view, and it's good to listen to thought-provoking stuff. Well, it is for me anyway. I find that lately, actually, while we're on the subject, I find that there seems to be this sort of real anti-listening to other people's views. There seems to be like, well, your view doesn't assimilate with my view, therefore you're completely wrong and I hate you and I don't want to talk to you and you're wasting my time. You know, why can't we all just have we've all got an opinion, we've all got a point of view, so let's all just be respectful of everyone else's point of view. You don't have to agree with it, but you can still respect it. So, not saying that this guy goes out and talks a load of stuff that's controversial. I'm just saying that you know, I have noticed that. And I've also noticed as well how many people all of a sudden are being sponsored by someone or doing reviews for things that they've clearly been given. Can I just say I need a new tripod? So if anybody out there wants me to review their tripod, just send it over. Send it over and I'll review it. Or filters, you know, filters are big. So anyone got filters? I'll have some filters. My Nissi polarizer thing is pretty knackered from where I keep dropping it. So Nissi, if you're watching, if you want to send me over a new filter system, I'm only joking. It's just an observation. I've just noted there's a lot of people at the moment who seem to be reviewing tripods or going out on meets with filter manufacturers. Anyway, clearly I was only joking there. Please don't take offence. I can't afford to lose any subscribers. I'm going to monetize soon. I'm not. Oh God. Anyway, hope you guys have a great week. And I will see you next time if you're still here. Oh, Jesus. Sometimes I just need to stop talking. It was a joke. It was just a joke. Please don't be offended, anybody. Oh, God.